everybody, it's Lori Bradley and I am back. I already did lunch with Lori today, so if you missed that, be sure to check that out. We used a really fun stamp set called Lifelong Friends. But I am here this afternoon. I am doing one card every day for the rest of Sale-A Bration. So every weekday between now and February 28th, I will be doing a Sale-A Bration card. Sometimes I will be mixing it with mini catalog items. Sometimes it'll be on its own. Today I'm going to be using the Pick a Season stamp set, and then I am pairing that with a couple of things. I'm using the Delightful Wishes stamp set, actually the bundle, and also the Countryside Corners dies. I actually had those on my table from earlier today from my class, and so I'm just going to use those again because they were handy and they work perfectly for my card. Let me turn my camera around. I'll show you my card that was my inspiration. I do a card swap as a demonstrator with my one of my training groups pretty regularly, and this was a card that I got from a demonstrator named Dawn Bourgette. And so I thought it was a great idea. Oops, sorry about my camera getting a little bit crazy when I did that. But I am a matter. I want something else. I don't want just the card front. Like, this feels pretty blah. A little bit thin. No, it's a beautiful card. I just think it needs a little bit more. So for our card today, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna up our game just a little bit. I'm gonna change mine. I have all of my pieces cut. I have a white Countryside Corner, and like I said earlier today, if you were watching, I don't ever call things by the right name. I always have some, crazy name. And so my group calls these actually the rug dies, like your grandma's braided rug that she used to have in her living room. And so we have an old olive and a white. I'm using a thick white card. And then I have a petunia pop panel that I have die cut the word wishing from the Delightful Wishes. So I've got that. And then I have the sentiment. I have a couple of sentiments. It's just so, if I mess up, then I'm covered. And then I also have die cut the word wishing, and I have an adhesive sheet already on the back of that. So this will be a quick run through. We won't have anything too crazy. I'm going to use old olive ink, and I'm going to stamp. Oh, actually, I didn't even show you the stamp set. The Pick a Season stamp set is a tree. You might have looked at it and thought, it's okay. Or no, I don't want it. But here is the top of the tree, and then there's a branch, and then also there's hearts, shamrocks, flowers, leaves, eggs and leaves that you can put into the spaces in your tree, which makes it so fun. One of my catalog launch cards was a tree, and we used the leaves. And today we're actually going to use the flowers. So this is a $60. If you spend $60, you can get this item for free from Sale-A Bration, which is an exciting thing. All right, I'm going to start with, my tree trunk today. My original sample that I made, I started with my tree, and I didn't get my trunk quite in the right place. It's fine, but it's not where I wanted it. So I'm going to just go ahead and stamp my trunk first. I have a catalog underneath just to be sure that I have some cushion, because these photopolymer stamps do like some cushion. All right, so there's our pecan pie tree trunk, ready to go. Now, when I do my tree, there is a spot, and you can see on the bottom of the stamp that there's a bigger space with a little bit on the right hand side. That is actually the bottom, and I'll show you why. It is a space for the trunk, and it's also a space where our flowers are going to fit in. Okay, sorry, I have to move that closer just so I can make sure I've got it in the right spot. So it comes down, so those leaves look like they are going onto our tree trunk and leaving space. Just like that. Okay, So you can see the open spaces, and that's where we're gonna put our flowers in. After I played with this stamp set, I realized how fun it actually was. It's a good stamp set, especially when it's free. So I'm gonna use the flowers. So I'm just gonna use my Petunia Pop ink. And I'm just gonna go in these spaces, and you can kind of see where the flowers fit into the gaps between the leaves. There we go. You can just kind of turn it so that it fits into the space. If it goes over, it's totally fine. That flower actually looks like it's hiding behind that leaf. I'm having trouble with this bottom corner flower. I'm not sure why that is. Let's see if we can fix that. All right, there we go. All right, so we have our leaves, we have our flowers, and we have our tree trunk. Now, I have the die cut, the sentiment die cut, that's going to go with our sentiment. And we're going to use Old Olive ink. We've got, I'm not sure, we don't have the right block size for this, so I had to use this big block. So when you use this stamp, if you happen to have a block this size, just make sure that you've got it all the way at the edge and you don't rock you just go, when you ink it up, you just go right at the edge so you don't get ink all over the bottom of your block right here, because that would be a mess. Okay, so my paper is a little bit messy from today. We did some sponging and some masking, and it was super fun. But I didn't put out a clean paper, so you get the results of today's class earlier. Okay, you a happy birthday. Seems a little weird, right? But we are wishing you a happy birthday. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this. I'm going to do it with this so it's a little thinner. I'm going to have that ready. Oh, wrong one. I, of course, picked up the empty one. I took a picture and posted it earlier of I called it my chaos behind the camera. I did 3 cards earlier today. I did a card last night. Our son, Caden, is working at home today for school, and he's using some of my stuff. And so it's just been a little bit crazy with all of the supplies that I have out. And then I'm working on my retreat for March 8th. And so that stuff is out as well. So it's just a little bit crazy in it's my front living room. I'd like to call it my studio, but it's not really a studio. It's just my front living room. Okay, now I'm going to put this piece onto here. Actually, my sample, the original sample, let me show you really quick. The G goes over that birthday. That's the one that was on my swap card. I would like that G to go underneath, so I'm just going to attach the wishing part first. I'm just going to peel the adhesive sheet off. I think most of it will come off in one piece. I gave Caden an adhesive sheet and he used it for letters, and we just covered the top and the bottom of his letters to stick on his letters. And he was like, "Mom, it doesn't cover the whole thing." And I was like, "Oh no, it'll work. It'll work." So, all right, I'm gonna stick this. Let's go right about here. I'm gonna make the H the center, and then I'm gonna go right on over. Put it all down. Okay. Well, hi Sarah. Thank you for watching us. Yes, that thin little die is great, but man, it's pretty skinny. So I had to be very careful All right, so like I said, I wanted my G to go underneath, so I'm just gonna put this "You a happy birthday" right across, and you can still see and know that that's a G. Okay, so let's put some dimensionals on the back. I'm gonna pop that up. You can see the panel I'm gonna put it on has the hole out of it, so we're just gonna be really careful to cover that. Put a dimensional on each corner. I'm gonna be worn out. This is 4 cards today that I've done on the video, and I told Caden not to come running out of his room to be loud either. I was threatening him with his life, so he did pretty well at lunchtime. So hopefully we're still good. All right, before I put this down, I'm changing my mind because that's the story of my life. Okay, I'm going to, y'all know me and Bose, you've been around once or twice. All right, I'm just going to cut my ribbon. I left my ribbon scissors right here. All right, and I'm going to tape that on the back. I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to tape the ends because I find that that's the easiest way to attach ribbon. Just tape it on there with Scotch tape. You can use your tape runner, you could use liquid glue, but I just find that it's easiest to do with Scotch tape. Just like that, all of that adhesive back here won't make any difference. All right, so we've got that piece on there. Now, I was trying to figure out how to make my bow fit to make a bow, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the countryside corner panels on here. Just like that. And I'm actually going to go ahead and dimensional this panel also. Hopefully that's not too thick for the mail. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take care of that. This one was pretty simple. After I cut the things, I realized that it was pretty easy. If you missed earlier today, we did masking, and I embossed my 3rd card beforehand because it was a lot. Okay, now, super simple. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fold. I already scored that at 5.5, so it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there. Now, the words, you'll notice the eyes. The little, I think those are called a tittle. The tittle of the eye, we could punch that out and we could put that on there, but that is way entirely too hard. So after I get my bow, so I've got the wraparound, I'm just going to tie a bow. Look, my fingernails are a shade brighter than the Petunia Pop, but they're kind of on the way. All right, so I've got my bow. I'm going to put that on with a glue dot. I'm just going to put it on the side right here so it looks like it belongs. Looks like I tied a big bow, but I didn't. Glue dot right on the back of the knot, and I'm going to attach it right on the side. That way I got it in the right spot and I know that it went where it needed to. Okay, now you're wondering about this wishing with the eye, right? You're wondering, well, what about the eyes? I am going to use the 2024 to 26 in color shimmer gems, and I was like, oh no, I don't have any Petunia Pop. I used 3 on this card. I used 2 small and 1 big, and look, I have 2 small and 1 big left. It was meant to be, but I can't use this for anything else because now I don't have any more Petunia Pop gems. I'm gonna put that, my dots on my eyes. We also could have used maybe some white sequins. We could have used rhinestones, but I really liked the fact that the Petunia Pop gems matched I got a glue dot on my paper, so that paper will have to go away soon. And I have this 1 dot left. Where am I going to put it? Let's put it, I'm going to put it down here, I don't think. You know what? Maybe I'll leave it off, and I'll just leave my 2 dots for my for my wishing. I'm just going to leave it just like that. And there we have it. We have our wishing you a happy birthday. It's all white. And so this is my card that was my inspiration. It was my swap card, and then I just added a little bit to it and zhuzhed it up just a little bit. So the Sale-A Bration item is the Pick a Season stamp set. And again, that is free with a $60 purchase in my online store. And I'll include that link on the description. And I will see you again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time for tomorrow's class. Thanks for watching.